And so it happened. Mighty King Solomon, who was about as wise as any man had the right to be, did what seemed to be a very foolish thing. He hid away his greatest treasure. He hid it so deep and so well that all the archaeologists, with all of their shovels and all of their ancient maps, have yet to find it. And you know why?
And why, Jimmy?
Because the time was not right. And only King Solomon, in all of his wisdom, was able to realize that. And he lived happily ever after. The end.
Oh, it's very nice. But, Jim, darling, I don't think it was that way at all.
Of course it was. He hid the treasure.
No, it wasn't old King Solomon. It was the Queen of Sheba. And it wasn't a treasure.
No?
No, it was a star. Yes, it was a star that the Queen of Sheba took from out of the sky one Tuesday evening in October. She wanted it for her crown, so she took it.
And she buried a star? Truly, Della, that makes no sense.
No, she didn't bury it. She tossed the star deep into the sea, so deep that its light couldn't reach the surface, and all the ships that passed overhead had no idea there was a star down there at all. And do you know why she did it?
No, why?
Because, she said, the time wasn't right.
Of course.
And when the time was right, the star would rise out of the sea and shoot back into the sky. But not until a time when the heavens were ready for a star of such beauty. The end. Well,
this is a true story. Once upon a time, one Christmas, on the very first Christmas Eve, to be honest, 3 kings journeyed a great distance.
they were the Magi. Everyone knows that story, Jimmy.
I wonder. Now, these being wise kings, we can guess they brought wise gifts.
But maybe they weren't. They could have been foolish gifts, couldn't they? Absolutely foolish. And
That's my whole point. We can only guess. Now I thought the Magi brought the finest gifts imaginable.
until tonight.
Yes, it wasn't until this very night, Christmas Eve, 1905, in this very flat, to me, that I realized something about the gift of the Magi.
Me too. And to think that all started here, in 2B, only last September. Do you remember it, Jimmy? Well, I'll never forget our first day in old 2B. Is this it, Jimmy? Is this really it?
Della, where are you?
Oh, up here? Is it really ours?
It's 2B, top of the stairs, first left.
All ours, truly ours.
For $8 a week it is.
Oh, Jim, darling, our own furnished flat, our palace.
With all the modern conveniences. Kitchen with hot, cold running water, you notice. Bathroom's just down the hall there, and an electric light in every room.
And all this furniture.
It's not new, of course.
Our table. This is where our dinner feasts will be served.
With no less than 2 servants.
Of course. Oh, Jim, it's wonderful. It really is.
Just 1 flight of steps, too. The streetcar stops at the corner, and the world is at our feet.
But $8 a week? Well, can we manage it?
You're speaking to Mr. James Dillingham Young, my dear, who just happens to earn $25 a week. Isn't that why you married me?
Don't be silly, my boy. You are speaking to Mrs. James Dillingham Young. And I married you because you are a genius to find such a perfect place.
Not perfect. I checked it out carefully, you see. This place has got a few flaws.
Impossible.
That pipe there, for instance. You see it?
Where?
There. It rattles and pounds and spits and everything.
Loudly?
Only in the middle of the night, I'm sure. And this chair wobbles quite dramatically.
What will the servants think?
And be careful of the sofa, especially the left side,
Why?
because it bites.
Honestly.
It does. They tried to take a bite out of me. One of the springs inside does not like James Dillingham Young. Watch its bite, I tell you.
Just like that man downstairs. Better watch his bite, too.
Who? The mystery man?
The one who stared at us through the transom when we walked in.
That's him. Looked like a mystery man to me.
Well, he certainly looked strange. He must live right below us.
1B, that's our man. But he's nothing compared to the woman across the courtyard.
The one who slammed her window shut when we came in?
I hear she's an honest-to-goodness witch.
Jim, won't you stop?
It's true. Every last Friday of the month, all the cats gather outside her window. It's like some sort of secret ceremony or something.
Honestly, Jimmy, married 2 weeks already, and you still think I'm a child.
All right, who is she then?
Well, if you must know,
Yes, I must.
well, she's the Queen of Sheba.
A queen? Ridiculous.
She's in disguise, of course. She dare not show her real beauty, or else she'll be discovered. Oh, it's a very sad story, really. She ran away from the land of Sheba because she refused to marry the prince of someplace or other. She was in love with another, you see. So, one night, it was a Thursday evening in February, she gathered only her finest jewels into a laundry basket and stole away.
And what about those cats outside her window?
Well, the cats know her secret. In fact, they are blackmailing the queen. So, each month, she has to feed them royal scraps so that they don't betray her.
Well, I guess that makes sense. But she still looks more like a witch than a queen to me.
Oh, she's actually very beautiful. The Queen of Sheba has to be.
Well, if the beautiful Queen of Sheba ever looks across the courtyard and sees your beautiful long hair, it'll be the Queen's envy, I can tell you.
My hair? You do love my hair, don't you, Jim, darling?
Of course. It's your greatest treasure.
Not any longer.
What?
You are my greatest treasure, silly.
And you are mine.
Listen, did you hear that?
The pipes! Didn't I tell you?
No, below us. Hear that? The mystery man?
Yes. Sounds like he's moving something. Heavy. A table, maybe? Or a chest.
A chest. Oh, Jim, I know.
What do you know, Della?
Who the mystery man is, of course.
You do you?
Yes, and I know why he was staring at us. It was your gold watch.
My watch.
Well, he saw your watch when we came in and... Let me see it again, Jim. Oh, my, it is a beauty, Jim.
It's been in my family for...
Well, your grandfather gave it to your father who gave it to you, right?
Right.
It's the handsomest watch I've ever seen.
I guess it would compare with the finest in the world.
Even the Queen of Sheba would be properly impressed with it.
But you think he saw it, do you?
I'm positive.
Do you think he means to steal it?
No. Kings never steal watches.
King? What king?
The mystery man, silly. Anyone can tell immediately that he's a king.
In disguise, I suppose. Ran away with his jewels in a laundry basket because he was in love with someone else.
Sort of. He's really the old King Solomon. Very wise man, you see, but no one suspects. He gave himself away with that watch. He took one look at your watch, and with that look, I knew he was King Solomon. That sound that we heard.
Yes?
That was his trunk. Gold, silver, and everything. He took one look at your watch and had to look through all of his treasures to see if he had anything that could possibly compare with it.
And did he?
Of course not. He'll be envious for days now.
Well, he didn't look too wise to me. And what would King Solomon be doing living here? Wouldn't he be more comfortable on Fifth Avenue or something?
Well, not with her living over there.
You mean the witch?
The Queen of Sheba. He loves her desperately, you see. But she refused to marry him. He ran away and hid. The king, being so wise, has found out where she is and moved into one bee so that he could keep his eye on her.
How fantastical.
Oh, Jim, he loves her so much. You saw his sad face. Do you think they'll ever get together?
Stand back!
What is it?
She's there, at the window, the Queen of Sheba.
What's she doing?
Shaking out a mop.
Oh, she's a clever one, all right.
I think she saw it, though.
Your what?
Your beautiful long hair. She'll be raging with envy for days now.
Oh, Jim, what a fascinating place you found for us. And all for $8 a week.
Only one thing worries me now.
What's that?
It's the last Friday of the month. Who's gonna feed all those cats?
Please, God, let nobody buy them, so that I can see them forever.
They are lovely, Della.
Lovely? They're the most beautiful combs in the world. Real tortoise shells, and all those jewels on the rims. They are too beautiful for words.
They would look lovely in your hair. I think that every time we stop here and look at them, the most beautiful combs in the world, and the most beautiful hair in the world.
Oh, Jim, won't you stop?
I will, but only because it's true.
Take my head without it. They're so expensive. They're so expensive. I can't even imagine it. Only a queen could afford such jewels. Which is where they came from, of course.
It is? But
Oh, Jim, as if you had to ask.
not the Queen of Sheba again.
Who else? She wore them every third Sunday afternoon. She rode out in her chariot. The sun would shine off the tortoise shells and reflected itself in the jewels until she shone like a waterfall at sunset. Oh, what a sight it was to see.
Why did she get rid of them? Did she get tired of them?
Those combs? Never. She must have had a very good reason, or else she never would have gotten rid of them.
I know.
Well, then tell me, please. Well, they are so lovely.
It's rather really simple. You see, the Queen of Sheba took them with her when she left the land of Sheba, hidden deep in the bottom of her laundry basket, so she always knew where they were. Then one day, she happened to look across the courtyard into 2B and saw someone with the most beautiful hair. She raged with envy and swore that she would never wear the combs again until her hair was as long and as beautiful as the woman's in 2B. So she sold them here to this shop. The end.
Oh, that is such a sad story.
And here they are, waiting.
They will probably wait forever. Please, God, let them wait here forever.
I've got a better story. This one's about Mr. James Dillingham Young.
That's my favorite story, especially the part about the watch.
This has nothing to do about the watch. This is about Mr. James Dillingham Young, earned $25 a week, had a bride and pipes that made noises in the middle of the night.
And a mighty king and a jealous queen living in the same building.
And that same Mr. Young couldn't afford a pair of beautiful combs for his wife's beautiful long hair.
Yes, I know the story.
Until one day, it was a Monday in November, that Mr. Young was no longer making $25 a week. He was instead making $30 a week because the company had big plans for him.
Jim?
And he figured that $5 a week, if he was careful and saved.
Jimmy, is this true?
All my stories are true.
What about the $30, I mean?
Mr. Quint told me this afternoon. So look at those combs again, Della. The Queen of Sheba may look across the courtyard and someday get the surprise of her life.
Oh, you are a genius.
Just wait until old King Solomon finds out he bought his sweetheart's jeweled combs.
I can hardly wait.
Come along, Della. I have something to show you.
What is it?
Not much, really. A surprise. You'll see.
I can't imagine.
Stand here and close your eyes, like this.
Okay.
And don't look until I tell you.
All right.
Wait until old King Solomon sees this.
Can I look now?
In a second. Now,
What?
read it.
Oh. Mr. and Mrs. James Dillingham Young, to be.
It's not much, really. But I figured if you make $30 a week, you ought to be able to show it.
Oh, Jim, I love your story.
And they lived happily ever after.
Please, God, make him be wrong. For once, let Jim be wrong. Make him come home, laughing, saying it was all a mistake, that he imagined the whole thing. Della, it's all right. Let him say, Mr. Quint has decided to keep me on, hard times or not. Then he'll apologize for giving me such a scare, and, oh, it's all true, too horribly true. I feel it. I hope I say the right things.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right, darling.
Do you want to hear a story?
No, Jim. I mean, if you want.
It's a true one.
All right.
All my stories are true.
I know, dear.
They didn't fire me, really. That's the ending of my story, but I'll start there.
They didn't.
No, Mr. Quick called us in and gave us a speech about hard times and profits and mortgages, expenses. But the ending of that story was that I am not fired.
Oh, Jim.
Do you want to hear another story?
Jim?
It's also about mortgages and expenses and hard times. And the ending of that story is I only make $20 a week now. Like all my other stories, that one's true too.
$20?
Say, it could have been worse. That's what Mr. Quint kept saying.
Oh, Jim, I love you. Nothing else could matter so much, could it?
$20 a week.
It's all right. We'll manage. We'll...
With Christmas just around the corner.
We have each other. We'll be together. That's the important thing.
It's your turn to tell a story now.
I was so afraid that...
Me too. What would old King Solomon have said?
Oh, that reminds me. I almost forgot all about it. I saw them. Both of them.
The king and queen, together.
Sort of. I went up to the roof to hang the laundry and he was there.
Mighty King Solomon.
Except he wasn't very mighty. And I think you're right, Jim. He didn't look all that wise to me either. At least, not up close. But anyway, he went up there. He was sitting near the skylight. I think he'd been drinking.
No.
I just minded my own business when He spoke to me.
The mystery man actually spoke to someone.
Except that it wasn't very nice.
What did he say?
Nothing at first. He just kept staring at me. You know that stare that he has. I just ignored him and started hanging out the shirts. But I felt him watching me all along. Finally, he said, "Nice hair you got there, girlie." Just like that. I didn't know what to do, so I sort of smiled, and then he said, "Know what I'd do if I had hair like that?" This was the most ridiculous thing to say, wasn't it, Jim? I didn't know what to think. Then he said, "I'd cut it off and sell it and get myself some real gin."
He said that.
And then the most astonishing thing happened. From across the roof, near the water tank, she appeared.
She, not
The Queen of Sheba. She must have been hanging up the sheets all along, and I hadn't even noticed her. She must have heard what the old king said, because she came up from behind the water tank and told him to behave himself.
She didn't.
She actually scolded him. "Get away from here and let respectable people get on with their work," or something like that. I can hardly remember. I was shaking so. Can you imagine her talking to King Solomon like that?
Well, what did you do then?
Well, I finished hanging up the shirts as fast as I could. I was shaking so. Didn't know whether to cry or to burst out laughing. And then I came back down here. Oh, Jim, I wish you'd been there. It was so confusing. Later, when I went back up to get the shirts, they were both gone.
Just imagine it. Mighty King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba on the roof.
Jim, do you think she recognized him? As her old suitor, I mean.
I'm sure he's changed pretty much since the old days.
I suppose. Do you think they'll ever get together?
Hard to say.
They both look so lonely.
Sure.
What are you thinking about, Jimmy?
$20 a week.
$1.87. Oh, it just can't be. 3.5 weeks of saving, and that's all I've got to spend? $1.87 for my Jim's present. And this, our first Christmas together. Oh, what could I possibly get for so little? Oh, it just can't be. There's 65 cents for the butcher. I'll just have to wait. And the grocer's bill. It'll keep another week. But $1.87. I wanted to get something fine and rare and sterling. Something deserving of the name James Dillingham Young. But $1.87. I must have made a mistake in counting. I'll just check it one more time.
Yes, sir, Mr. Quinn. Right away, sir. I understand, sir. Two hours left. What kind of jewels can I buy for $4? What kind of gift can I get for that price? Some present I'll be able to get Della for our first Christmas.
$4 o'clock. Well,
I was wondering if you could make it just a... No. Mr. Quinn, I would like to propose a business proposition for you, sir. No. Mr. Quinn, I was wondering if just this one time, maybe, some genius...
Madam Softening, hair goods of all kinds, third floor. Oh, please, God, let them be closed. No. Oh.
Less than an hour left. Then what'd I do? Less than an hour left to $4 to buy the world with, and less than an hour to decide what to do. What would a real wise guy do? A real Solomon. I bet he'd take his wisdom and come up with something great. Oh, some story I'll be able to tell.
Will you wear my hair? Oh. $20? Give it to me quickly.
And a very Merry Christmas to Mr. and Mrs. James Dunigan Young of 2B. Ding dong valley on high, and heaven the bells are ringing. Ding dong valley, the sky is ripped with angels singing.
Jim? Oh, please, God, let him love me still. Here you go, Jimmy. A gift deserving of the name.
Della! Della?
Merry Christmas, darling.
You cut off your hair.
Yes, I did. Oh, please, Jim, don't look at me that way. I did it for you, really. And, I mean, I had my hair cut and sold because I couldn't have lived for Christmas without giving you a present. I didn't know what else to do. I tried to save Jim, honestly I did, but it amounted to practically nothing. Nothing at all. So, I sold my hair. But it'll grow back, Jim, I promise. But but I just had to do it. Besides, my hair grows fast, awfully fast, and before you know it,
You've cut off your hair.
cut and sold it. Yes, Jim, I did. Had to. Do you still like me as much as you used to? Don't you love me without my long hair? I'm still me without it.
You say your hair is gone.
You needn't look for it, Jim. I sold it, I tell you. Oh, it's Christmas Eve, Jim. Please don't be angry with me. Besides, we're going to have a lovely Christmas after all. Look at the gift I've got for you. Open my gift and I'll put the chops on the stove and we'll celebrate Christmas and we'll live happily ever after. Please say something, Jim.
Of course I still love you. With your long hair, without your long hair, of course. It's just, you had me going there for a moment.
Jim?
It's nothing. A joke, really. Here, open this and you'll see. You'll get the joke, too.
A present? For me?
Go ahead.
Jim, where did you find the money?
Go ahead. Open it.
You are a genius. You must have had money put aside all along and I didn't even know it. How you ever did it, I'll never know. I mean, you can't put off the butcher or save on the grocer or... Oh! The Queen of Sheba's combs! Oh, my hair!
You see why I was a little stunned?
Oh, the beautiful, beautiful tortoiseshell combs.
With jewels on the rims? Better not have the old queen find out.
Oh, they're even lovelier now than they were in the store window. But my hair all gone.
Like you say, it'll grow back fast.
Oh, it will, Jim. I promise you it will.
If it never grows an inch, you're still my girl.
Oh, I've forgotten all about your gift. Here, open it. You'll have to agree it's the most perfect present ever. I kept looking and finally, there it was, in the window of a shop on Broadway. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was the perfect gift I'd been searching for. I said to myself, this is the gold chain that is worthy of the watch. Isn't it a dandy, Jim? You'll have to check the time 100 times a day now. And the chain is long enough that you can wear it like so. It will show all the time. Just think of what old Solomon's reaction is going to be. Give me your watch for a second, Jim. I want to see how it looks on the chain. Jim, give me your watch for a second. Well, what's the matter, Jim?
Dilla, let's put our gifts away for right now. They're just too nice to use.
But Jim...
I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs.
Oh.
So let's put our wonderful gifts away and you can put the chops in the stove.
Yes. I suppose you're right. Oh, Jim, how foolish we've been.
No, not foolish. They were absolutely most perfect gifts. Maybe the most perfect gifts ever given at Christmas time.
Well, I know the perfect chest for our perfect gift.
And so it happened. Mighty King Solomon, who was about as wise as any man had the right to be, did what seemed to be a very foolish thing. He hid away his greatest treasure.
And the Queen of Sheba took the star which she had grabbed from the heavens. She tossed it deep into the sea, until a time when the heavens were ready for a star of such beauty.
One more story. The Magi were 3 wise kings, and we can assume they brought wise gifts to the babe in the manger on that first Christmas. However, who is to say what is a foolish gift? For perhaps we are all like the Magi. The end.